You've got what it takes to win. This one. When I say that, do you believe it? I've got what it takes to win. Gideon didn't for a long, long while. It took him a while. It took him a while to reconcile what he had inside of him with what he saw all around him. It took him a while to reconcile what God said about him with what he saw in himself. It took him a while to realize, if I could say it this way, what kind of instrument he was in God's eyes. What kind of instrument he was in God's eyes. See, in the book of Judges, you have this constant cycle of God's people getting in trouble and then God stepping in and bringing them out of trouble. And he did it through, if I can say it this way, some interesting instruments. Like one time, y'all ever heard of Samson? Got a haircut, lost his strength, ate his spinach. No, that's another guy. All right, sorry. I get mixed up sometimes. But Samson one time, he took the jawbone of a donkey. And if it was a men's conference, we'd do the King James, the jawbone of an ass in the King James version of the Bible. And beat back 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. And then he did a diss track to the Philistines about it. With the jawbone of a donkey, I have slain 1,000 men. With the jawbone of a donkey, I have made donkeys of them. Samson. Interesting guy, interesting instrument for God to use, because he wasn't very self-controlled or anything like that, but he was strong and God used him. One lady in the book of Judges, I won't go through all of them. It's fresh on my mind because we were reading through it a few weeks ago, but one woman in the book of Judges, she wanted to kill an evil king and he snuck in her tent and she said, "Aw, poor baby, let me give you some milk." And she gave him some milk and he got sleepy. And then while he was dozing off, she got a tent peg. You ever read the Bible? Y'all don't read the good stuff. I got to show you where the good stuff is. Because you're over there. "Oh, rejoice in the Lord." She took a tent peg. Sometimes you fight the devil. You got to fight the devil dirty. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't have time for all of that transcendence and otherness and God, the thusness of thine presence is thine. She grabbed a tent peg. I don't think it was meant for this purpose, but she was multi-purposing. And she took the tent peg, put it through his skull. Look her up in the Bible. Jael, Jael. It means the one God chose. At least that's what the girl told me at the restaurant. I met a girl at a restaurant in Greensboro Friday, and she said, "Pastor Furtick." I said, "Yes." She said, "I watch your sermons." I said, "Great. What's your name?" She said, Jael. I said, "That's a great name. Do you know that story in the Bible?" She said, "Oh, yeah." And so she was a server in the restaurant. So every time she came close to me with like a instrument of any sort, I was a little bit nervous, but she was sweet. Somebody say interesting instruments that God used to deliver his people. Can we agree? Jawbone of a donkey, tent peg through the skull of a king after a nice warm glass of milk. It's interesting the things God uses. But stranger than the objects that God uses are the characters that he raises up to use as his instruments. Look at somebody and say, "You are an interesting instrument." Just tell them. Tell them by faith, because I promise you don't know the half of what you just said to them. You really have no idea how God put them together, and you've been married to her for 18 years, and you still don't know how to play that instrument just exactly right and keep it in tune. It takes a little while to figure out the instrument. And for Gideon, it's even more difficult because he is seen as, I don't know what the coolest instrument is, maybe drums or something like that. Maybe electric guitar. Gideon is the instrument that nobody wants. Gideon is like the recorder in his own mind. And Gideon, when God comes to him and calls him out of the wine press, he's down there threshing wheat in a wine press because the Bible says that the hand of the Midianites was against the Israelites. And so when God comes to Gideon and he says, "Get up, go in the strength that you have. I'm going to use you to bring my people out of the hands of the Midianites." Gideon really doesn't get it at first because it takes him a while to figure out what kind of instrument he can be. And here's why. He's been in the wrong hands for so long that he doesn't even realize who he is anymore. The whole nation, not just Gideon, has been in the hands of the Midianites. And let me show you what that looks like from the New Testament and bring it into our lives from Romans chapter 6, verse 13. Can we go over and see the Apostle Paul for a moment? Let's go see the Apostle Paul for a moment, because this verse will really bring this message to a practical place for us where we can understand what Jesus has done for us and where we can understand what the Holy Spirit is inside of us, so that we don't just shout that God has given us the battle, but that we actually get to go back into the battles that we face in our lives with something practical where we can take it and where we can triumph over the enemy that Jesus has already defeated. Somebody shout, I've got what it takes to win. All right, Romans chapter 6, verse 13. Listen to this. Paul cautions you, do not present your members to sin as instruments for unrighteousness, but present yourselves to God as those who have been brought from death to life. That's what he did for you. As those who have been brought from death to life. You are a living instrument. And so, since you are a living instrument, put your life, watch this, in the hands of a living God. Put your life in the hands, look at the second part of that verse, your members to God as instruments for righteousness. Present yourselves to God as those who have been brought from death to life, and your members to God as instruments for righteousness. In other words, take it back. You have been presenting yourself as an instrument to the enemy for long enough. You have been presenting your mind to the enemy long enough. You have been presenting your mouth to the enemy long enough. Just saying whatever comes out. Just saying what everybody else says. Just saying whatever thing you happen to think at that moment, not checking it to see if it's even true, or if it's where you want to end up in your life, and setting the direction by your tongue and steering your life with the rudder of your tongue and your words and your speech. You have let the devil have your instruments long enough. Take it back. You may not understand the value of the instrument that is you yet. And in case you don't, let me set the record straight. The way that you were brought from death to life is that Jesus went from life to death, back to life again. Somehow, the Savior of the universe thought Alex was an instrument worth dying for. Somehow, the creator of the cosmos thought Charlie was worth bleeding for. Somehow, the maker of heaven and earth thought Heather was worth shedding his blood for. You are an interesting instrument. But let me tell you part two. You are an expensive instrument. You can't get this at a pawn shop. This is not a second-hand instrument. This is not a hand-me-down. This isn't the tuba that your brother never played. This is an expensive instrument. The first guitar that I ever bought that cost a lot of money, you know what I'm gonna say? Do you know what I'm gonna say? My mom and my best friend from high school are both on the second row. I can't tell any lies about my childhood or exaggerate or embellish any facts about my life with these two fact checkers right here. The first guitar that I ever bought, my mom bought me some, and then I wanted this one specific one. It was a Paul Reed Smith. What if I had it in the back right now? Bring it out, Jared. Bring out my Paul Reed Smith. Jared Olson, everybody. Jared, you were shaking when you brought it out. You a little nervous? Excited. Me too. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. Paul Reed Smith. Well, I was excited about this. I worked all summer to buy this. Paul Reed Smith. And if Paul is watching, a sponsorship would be greatly appreciated for Elevation Worship. A lot of people watch these sermons. You sound like you just started 6 months ago, the way you said. Well, you don't sound like you toured with Journey, let me put it that way. I told him, bring it out in the case and everything. Just bring it out. Where does this ring back? I saved all summer working for Pet Rest Cemetery and Cremation Service. That was my first job. I saved all summer, every Saturday, me and Fox. Now, Fox was a bass player. I should tell you this. When Paul says instruments of righteousness, he's talking about weapons. But I never fought in the army. So when I see instruments, I think Paul Reed Smith. I think about this Paul Reed Smith guitar that me and Fox, now remember, me and him had a band together, but we didn't, well, okay, I should say this, and I'll tell you. I've been making up bands since I was 12 years old. In my mind, I would give a band a name, and then I would tell all my friends they were in my band. Even though they didn't play an instrument. I'd be like, Lee, you're my drummer. Like, I don't have drums. It's fine, you're my drummer. We've got a band. And I would name the band, and I would make albums around those bands that didn't have any instruments or musicians. All that, I promise I'm gonna get back to the Bible in a minute. It's just a setup. This guitar was about $1,400 when I bought it, which in today's money is $7.3 million. Google it. And look, inflation is crazy. And watch this. I would go every Saturday with Fox. And Fox was my first friend who actually had an instrument. My friend Michelle said, hey, you should meet Fox. He's got a bass. I said, he's got a bass? He plays bass? I play guitar. We start playing together. We put bands together. His brother started playing drums. Now I finally had friends with instruments. Y'all run around talking about friends with benefits. What you need is some friends with instruments. Huh? Some friends who can help you grow and go where you need to go and have the gift of encouragement. You need some friends with instruments. If you can't play, don't play me in this season, because I'm looking for somebody who's got something, who's going somewhere. I'm not looking for somebody who's going to turn back when the battle gets hard. I need some friends. That's what God said to Gideon. You got too many men who don't have any instruments, and in this season of your life, let me get rid of everything that isn't serving a purpose. Sit down. This is my Paul Reed Smith. Every Saturday I went, I looked at it, I drooled over it, I lusted over it, I prayed for it. I did the Hail Mary, I prayed in Pentecostal tongues till I finally got it. When Mike, who owned the store, would pick this up and play it, it sounded so good. When I got it home, it didn't sound like Mike when Mike played it. Mike was a great guitar player. I think he's still there running that shop. Am I telling the truth? All summer I saved up for this instrument. It's expensive. Come here, Eric. This is my friend I was talking about. Aren't you glad he ironed that shirt today before he came to church, Nicole? I didn't plan any of this. Yo, Max, you come on the stage, all the way on the stage. I texted him 5 minutes ago. I said, you're here today, right? He said, front and center. I said, good. But I didn't tell him this. Play something. Come on now. This is a Paul Reed Smith. It should be beautiful. Yeah, see, we all knew this was going to happen. He's trying to play Plush by Stone Temple Pilots, but he can't remember. He doesn't know. Now, I'm going to show you something. This will be stop playing. That's distracting. My best friend from high school. He would drive me down there a lot of Saturdays to look at the guitar because he had his license before I did. We'd go down there to Yale Music and look at the thing. All right, watch this. That guitar is expensive, but in the wrong hands, its potential is limited. E, take that over to E. Come here. Y'all give it up for this E. Come on, it's E. Edwards, everybody. You know him from albums such as This Is the Gospel. See what you can do with the instrument that E had. Come here. Get in the shot. Do you think in his hands it will be the same as it was in your hands? Yeah, no, go sit down. All I needed him for was to put it in the right hands. I'm done with you. You can go sit down. You can sleep. You can take notes. You can shout. You can pray. You can practice Plush on the air guitar. I don't care what you do. E, show him what that instrument is. Why didn't it sound like that in his hands? What changed about the instrument? We didn't give it new strings. The only thing we did was put it in the right hands. God says, you don't need more strings. You don't need to be smarter than you are. Shocker. All you need is to put it in the right hands. I'm making this up on the spot. This whole thing, this is spontaneous. Now that you've seen the illustration, let me make the application. Some of you started playing with sin in your life a long time ago. It was fun at first, but then it became a sort of cycle. The lust of the flesh, just doing what you feel like doing. The lust of the eyes, just basing everything off of your senses in life. The pride of life, thinking it's all about just what I can accumulate and never what I can distribute. And you play with things, and eventually the things that you play with start playing you. And before long, you might find yourself like Gideon or the Israelites in a season where you are a stringed instrument in the hands of a skilled enemy. That's what the Midianites represented. They were a skillful enemy. They knew how to play the Israelites so that the Israelites were pressed in and hard pressed and pressed down and depressed and anxious and fearful and shrinking and small, so that by the time God finally said to Gideon, mighty warrior, Gideon didn't even believe when the angel said, I see you as mighty. I see you as strong. I see you as capable. I made you for purpose. I put an assignment on your life. And Gideon says, who, me? Are you talking to me? Yeah, Gideon, you are an interesting instrument. You are an expensive instrument. You have been invested with the kind of divine resources that are very necessary for this exact assignment, Gideon. I feel God coming into somebody's wine press today. I feel God coming into somebody's weakness today. I feel God coming into somebody's dysfunction today, saying you are an expensive instrument, but you've been played by the devil. But today we came to take back from the enemy what never should have been in his hands to begin with. Your neighbor say, snatch it back. Snatch it back. Snatch what back? Your instruments. You got a Paul Reed Smith? No, but I got a sanctified mind. To me, why would you take something as amazing as your mind, an instrument? Much more than $1,400 worth in your mind. This irreplaceable, indispensable part of you, called your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions, and you're just gonna give all those gifts over to an enemy? Just gonna give all those gifts over to an Instagram? An enemy? A Midianite? And it's not just social media. The Lord spoke to me recently saying, I'm gonna help you reclaim your imagination. I gave you an instrument called imagination to serve the purpose of faith. But you use it too many times to go down roads of fear. So what the enemy has done is he got my instrument called imagination. Everybody in here who is really good at worrying could be really good at prayer. If you get it in the right hands, if you get your instrument back, come on. If you stay in this cesspool of lust and say, oh, it's nothing but the dog in me, a man's got to have what a man's got to have, then you are going to entrust your mind and your heart to an enemy that does not have a good intention for you. But if you get that instrument back, it can become true intimacy, so that the God who knows what he put inside of you can release everything that was meant to be sent into the world that he called you to. If you get your life in the right hands. Hey, thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. I hope you were blessed today. If you were, share this with somebody. Like and subscribe and leave me a comment.